Hello and welcome to Panoramic Edition, where we discuss national, regional and international developments in depth. The government of Bahrain provides constant care to prevent chronic non-communicable diseases, including diabetes mellitus, as one of the most important public health issues that have significant impact on individuals and communities' health. This is done through supporting both official and civil efforts of spreading awareness and improving treatment and prevention methods. Since its establishment in 1989, Bahrain Diabetes Society has been working constantly to spread knowledge among the Bahraini society about causes of diabetes, its ways of treatment, as well as methods of prevention through various activities in cooperation with different institutions. To talk more about that, we are pleased to be joined here at the studio by consultant endocrinologist at Awali Hospital and chair of the scientific committee at Bahrain Diabetes Society, Professor Dr. Dalal Al Romaihi, right after this. We're pleased to be joined here in the studio by a consultant endocrinologist at Awali Hospital and chair of the scientific committee at Bahrain Diabetes Society, Professor Dr. Dalal Al Romaihi. Hello and welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Doctor, first of, in order for us to really get into the topics that are addressed and taken care of by the Diabetes Society, can you give us a brief idea about diabetes itself, its causes, and the main ways of treating it?
So diabetes is a chronic illness. Anybody can get it, children or adults. And it's a chronic disease, so once you have it for life. And we will talk later perhaps about the types of diabetes, but generally, depending on the type, the treatment is designed. For example, for type 1, because they have an attack on their pancreas and they have no insulin in their body, the treatment is insulin, insulin, insulin,
yes,
multiple times a day. For treatment of type 2 diabetes, it's a spectrum of disease. There are people who are early on, so of course lifestyle modification, eating healthier, being active can help even treat it completely, so without any medications. Or as we progress, we might need to add orals, multiple orals, injectables, then insulin. So the third type is pregnancy-related diabetes, called gestational diabetes, which happens transiently during pregnancy, and if it is truly gestational diabetes, it resolves on the same day the lady delivers, but they are then at risk of type 2 in the future.
Yes.
So it comes in different types, and therefore it's treated differently.
Yes. And because of the chronicity and of this illness, and also because of how many types there is a lot of information that needs to be studied and kept in order for generations to know the side effects and have more awareness. What can you tell us about the current status of the Kingdom of Bahrain in particular in regards to diabetes and facts and figures, whether for adults or children?
So according to the latest National Health Survey, 15% of people living in Bahrain have diabetes. And these figures are serious because if we look at international data, it will be 9%. So Bahrain definitely is higher than international figures or global figures. But we're very comparative to the GCC, where they range between 15 and 20%. And we have noticed an increase, a trend of an increase of type 1 diabetes in children. We don't have exact figures, but we're working on a national document issued by the Bahrain Diabetes Society to highlight their exact figures, because we're in the process of outlining their financial needs for their technological supports of pumps and sensors. So we'll have more data on the pediatrics very soon.
Definitely, looking forward to seeing that, especially that, as you said, there is a lot of treatments that go into diabetes, and having a specific structure, especially for children to grow on, makes it easier for them as adults to deal with it. This actually brings me to something that you've mentioned, the Bahrain Diabetes Society, and so much research that it does in order to keep up to date. What can you tell us first about the establishment of the society, and what are the main vision, goals, and missions of it?
Well, Bahrain Diabetes Society was established in 1989. The president since establishment has been His Excellency Lieutenant General Dr. Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdullah Al Khalifa, who's also the chairman of the Supreme Council of Health. And it's been going since that, so 35 years old. And since 1991, we became a member of the International Diabetes Federation, which increases the reach of Bahrain Diabetes, the connectivity we have with our colleagues and members in the region.
Yes.
And Bahrain Diabetes Society has its main vision of promoting education. Education for prevention of diabetes and education among people living with diabetes to avoid complications. So we educate a lot. We also educate the healthcare professionals so they're updated on the most recent research and guidelines for diabetes management, because our ultimate target is to avoid diabetes or avoid diabetes-related complications, which is a magnificent rise then in the burden of the disease on the individual and on the healthcare economics. So how do we achieve that? We achieve that through several programs and activities that we design throughout the year, either for the public education or healthcare professional educations, in addition to multiple fundraisers to be able to sustain providing the supplies that the children need, for example, sensors, pumps, etc.
Yes.
So we keep staying very busy to achieve these targets and goals.
Definitely. Before we go more into the structure of the society itself, one thing that you pointed out is, of course, that awareness is important and education is important. The facts show that actually awareness and education to patients with diabetes and with family members who have diabetes actually prevent bigger and issues in the future. Do you feel that there's acceptance for that kind of awareness? Has there been a growth in how people accept these kind of repercussions?
Yes, we witnessed this firsthand in all our community engagement activities. For example, when we do World Diabetes Day events and we are in shopping malls or out in the public, our community members approach us with questions, concerns, challenges that they face, and we guide them through how they can solve that through their lifestyle changes or through the system. And we have several projects that are focused on awareness from the beginning of life. We have, for example, if you've heard of it, a diabetes mobile unit. It's a collaborative project between Bahrain Diabetes Society and the Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland, with a generous fund from Rotary Manama. And this mobile unit is functioning with support from the nursing students and now the medical students. And they go school to school to teach even kids without diabetes, everybody, of school students, of how they should live healthy to avoid childhood obesity and then adulthood obesity and then diabetes. And it's called Move With Us. And they taught more than 10,000 kids so far. And last year they launched an interactive book, which is something that the student can take home, work with their parent, and spread the knowledge even further.
That's amazing.
We have activities where we go to educate the elderly. So now this is the end of the spectrum. We're going to their day centers where they gather in the mornings and do interactive games and talk about diabetes and what they should have for their healthy snacks, etc. And we're always very well received. People have knowledgeable questions. They are aware, but they want to solidify their knowledge from the experts. So our society is eager to learn, and they're always engaged in activities.
That's amazing. In order to get all of that done, I'm sure the society has many stages that it has witnessed until it got to the development it is at today. What can you tell us about its structure and the stages of development as it came on?
Well, in terms of our structure, we have a board. So I'm a board member, for example, and I chair the scientific committee. So we do a lot of activities geared more towards publications, research, and conferences. There is a committee focused on Shuruq camp, we call it, or the diabetes camp. So they do all the activities related to children. Dr. Sami Al-Gattan takes care of that committee, and they are active year-long. Bahrain is the first in the GCC to establish a camp for children with diabetes, where we take them from their families for 3 full days. Fun, entertaining. Learn about diabetes by interactive games, how to inject, how to test glucose, count carbs, and we take them to do activities in parks, etc. And no parent is comfortable leaving their kid with diabetes with a neighbor or a sibling. So imagine they leave them with us, but we're professionals, so we're doctors, nurses, and there's trust, and we're with them 24/7, we don't leave them. And the most important thing here is the self-confidence the child comes out with, because first they think, why me, why do I have diabetes? And now they have a network of friends and they've seen the experience and the boost we see in their the rapport they have with the medical team, their follow-up, and their even glucose control is magnificent. And then we also have activities for them in the summer, a summer camp, and during the year in our Girga'oon activities, etc., or we give them certificates for best achievements in school grades or achievements in glucose control. We have a committee that deals with societal needs. And believe it or not, before having paths for walking in neighborhoods, Bahrain Diabetes Society came up with this idea in the 90s. So there was nothing like that in Bahrain. And they established the first one, it was by King Faisal Highway. And there was a big launch. Oh, we'll have a path where people can walk, and it had signages saying what to do if your glucose goes low. And now this is established as standard in any new neighborhood development. It is there. So we retreat and we let the government take care of that. We have an activity called the Walking Challenge. It's the 5th year that we have conducted that. We ask the public to walk. Send us proof of walking, that you've walked 30 minutes, 5 days a week, which is what the WHO and all societies recommend. And then after 90 days, we hope that they have established that into their routine. And we do a draw and give awards, which are like treadmills, bikes, etc. Yeah. So we're busy year long. There is a committee that deals with women needs, making sure that we have equal distribution of our attendees and activities of all men and women. We have a membership society, so or committee. So we are divided into our actions or tasks, but we really collaborate in all these projects together.
All of these projects are a big help in also promoting awareness about diabetes, as well as supporting the patients, as you have mentioned. How do you value the constant support and facilitation provided specifically by the government of Bahrain in order to promote and to make people aware in this way?
That's very important, and I think one of the ways that the government actually values the role of Bahrain Diabetes Society is allocating a seat for us in the National Task Force for Combating Non-Communicable Diseases. So we meet every quarter. The team is led by Her Excellency, the Minister of Health, and this team has done very, very well in coming up with ideas and collaborative projects. And it's our window to have access to all relevant ministries. Like there is a representative there from the Ministry of Information, Ministry of Education, Youth and Sports, etc. So the networking that happens through this task force really facilitates that we can achieve all these projects that we do, and we need permits or approvals or collaborators or experts. The channels are widely open. And as you have heard me speak so far, Bahrain Diabetes Society is not a health center or a clinic, so we don't treat anybody, but we help influence the decisions in creating treatment protocols. We help in complementing the services provided by the government, because the government has established tremendous steps in having the central diabetes clinics in primary care, creating obesity management clinics recently, the secondary care and all the services they provide. So they have all of that. Our role as a society is to give them ideas, suggestions, and complement whatever is missing.
It's really good to hear the confidence as well in the different committees, because them being there is for a specific reason. One of the committees also that is doing a lot of the work is the scientific committee, which you are sharing. And as you've said, all of the activities and events that have been done previously is actually a collaboration between all of these committees. What can you tell us about the scientific committee, their job, especially when it comes to, let's say, the growth of treatment plans, newer treatment plans, newer medication, pharmacological medications have become more in variety and so on. So what does the scientific committee do?
So for example, we have helped in creating guidelines, not only on a local level, but on a regional level. I participated, for example, on behalf of the society in GCC guidelines for obesity management, where we detailed all the new medications, when can we use them and when can't we use them, etc., and the holistic care of people living with obesity. We also selected several members from the scientific committee who wrote regional guidelines for the whole MENA region, so Middle East and North Africa, talking about hyperglycemia or high glucose in pregnancy, which is a very important topic that went then from guidelines to a book in English for healthcare providers that we currently are working on the Arabic version of it, taking us hours and hours of reviewing the literature and editing. Hopefully we will launch that this year in November along with the World Diabetes Day. We also conduct, of course, research and studies, both from the Diabetes Society as a solo project or in collaboration with the Arabian Gulf University, RCSI, and the University of Bahrain. We have several projects to look at, for example, correlations, associations, what makes people improve their care and what hinders achieving glucose targets. We also provide supports for other committees. For example, when they do the camp, they will need someone to run studies on the impact of the camp on the children. And we then share this data in poster presentations in local and regional conferences. So we help in a sense in research, we help in guidelines development. We were just invited by the Supreme Council of Health to also have a voice in the upcoming new guidelines for Bahrain for management of diabetes. And we help in conducting all these conferences, symposias, and workshops throughout the year.
That's a really big project and really big achievements that have been already made. Now, the Bahrain Diabetes Society is there not only to serve the patients, but also, as you said, to put the protocols and guidelines for the healthcare workers, whether they're doctors, nurses, or other healthcare workers. From your point of view, how is Bahrain in training healthcare in order to deal with this large number of patients with diabetes?
There are several training paths. Some are conducted locally by the primary healthcare to prepare their staff for their central diabetes clinics, and then some by the secondary care. We are currently conducting a big conference in November called Bahrain Diabetes and Obesity Conference. It is going to be done under the generous support and patronage of Her Royal Highness Princess Sibika bint Ibrahim Al Khalifa. And therefore, we will have under the umbrella of the Diabetes Society all the governmental hospitals, the Royal Medical Services, Primary Care, Ministry of Health, which will enable us to bring all experts together and discuss everything that's new. But that's in November. However, throughout the year, we have delivered several symposias, courses, and workshops, and we do them in cycles to capture as many as we can, doctors, nurses, dietitians. And the Diabetes Society sends it as an invite to the organization to send us nominees. So they feel more engaged and interested in coming, and the feedback has been excellent. And the topics we cover include, for example, all the new medications. We cover diabetes in Ramadan because the guidelines keep updating and the safety of patients is crucial to maintain. We also look at diabetes and complications in the heart and kidneys. And our focus in the past 3-4 years with the direction from His Excellency Sheikh Mohammed is also to look at obesity. We are not achieving much if we'll just chase diabetes once it happens. We have to rethink prevention, and going back to obesity as the core risk factor for developing diabetes. So we've also done a lot of, like Obesity Academy was a full program where we have healthcare providers come for face-to-face conference for 2 days, followed by online modules. Then we had a graduation for those who completed. So we try to contribute, and luckily we get the support that we need to conduct such conferences. And we therefore complement the services that the government does.
Definitely, it's very important, and with pride that I hear that all of that is actually happening when we knew it was happening. And also these things and the trust and the confidence that the society has comes partially because also it deals and cooperates with various institutions at the local level and regional and international level. What can you tell us about these collaborations, and why are they so important for not just the image of the society, but also its work?
Yes, we cannot succeed without our partners. So community partnership is very important here. Our partners give us the ideas because they've heard the needs or the demands. And our partners give us financial support when that's necessary, or logistic support when a hall is needed for an event or something. So I cannot name them because there are so many and I don't want to leave anybody out. But for example, the Southern Governorate called upon us to work on a project to again prevent diabetes and obesity, and we'll launch this inshallah upcoming November, on November 14th, the World Diabetes Day. Yeah. His Highness the Governor is very keen on prevention of diabetes in the Governorate. We are eager to do that as a pilot first, as a phase 1, so to speak, but then if that's a successful project, we will launch it in all Bahrain governorates. And it's an activity that will go for 4 months, where we will go to the community, workplaces, universities, malls, and do a rather comprehensive assessment. We will measure their glucose, their blood pressure, waist circumference, height, weight, BMI, and then they will be counseled what is working for them, what's against them, and provide them with lifestyle interventions that can help. We partner with the primary healthcare centers because we will for sure identify people who are unknown, undiagnosed, or at risk, who will need timely referral, and they are very supportive to accommodate them timely. Yes. So you see here the partnership of different people, and the fund to run all of this comes from Babco, Refining, and Awali Hospital. So when you see the energy that goes behind this, you see that there are a lot of people who care. Either they have the fund, or they have the interest, or they have the expertise, and when you put them together, fantastic work can be done. It's
a combined effort with the same goal, and that makes it hopefully a successful one. One thing that you've already mentioned are the summer activities for children, diabetes, and youth with diabetes, and their youth and their parents as well. You involve them as well in it. You also mentioned the visits done to elderly homes and everything. During these kind of activities and facing these things, is there a difference between the understanding of people that are elderly now to the illness and the youngsters or the younger ones now, and how they deal with the information?
Definitely. For children, we need to teach them all through games and play and interactions. And our youth are very, very smart, and they go online, and a lot of them started their own YouTube channels and their own Instagram pages, and they tag us, and they want to take pictures and post it. So they disseminate information that way, and they want information that way. When we go to the older individuals, we have to be very simplistic in our approach, and not unlikely that we go and they are greeting us with sweets and lots of sweets, and here we tell them what alternatives are, and it's, peer pressure is at all ages, and we find it very contagious when people start good habits. So when we tell them about good habits and how they can spread it, they rethink it. They rethink it because a lot of them, unfortunately, being older, they have witnessed complications, or they've witnessed in their friends or other people of their family members things going wrong. So here you get the support of wisdom of I've seen it when it doesn't go well, and they want tips, and they want things to be simple. Even their medications, we often overwhelm them with tons of medications. Take this before food, after food, this is at night. So how do we guide them how to simplify this is really helpful to have an impact then on their life.
Absolutely, and it's an ongoing thing. You've mentioned the primary health care. Definitely, as a nurse, I see people that come with one of the main complications, diabetic foot, and it's the job of us as healthcare workers to educate, re-educate, triple educate. And you've mentioned also the ease of how youngsters take this, and they go to YouTube and Instagram, and that would be actually my next question, because during my work, I do see how you have grandchildren trying to educate their grandmothers or grandfathers, and it becomes like a combined effort. How do you use social media or platforms, and how do you view them in the work of awareness?
We use the official Instagram for Bahrain Diabetes Society, for example, and anybody can follow us. It's BAH_diabetes. DIAB _ society. And here we promote all our activities, events, and invite the public to join us in our activities. We are also, through our direct messages, receiving needs from people who are struggling to get access to a new technology that they need, etc. And we therefore help guide them. We use WhatsApp. WhatsApp is very important as a tool, and the parent peer support group is through WhatsApp. And even before a professional answers, the parents answer each other. This is what you should do at school. This is what you should do when you travel. Don't forget to take this document. They know it because they lived through it. And YouTube, our YouTube channel is where we post our activities, and we try our best to document through video recording all our conferences so that healthcare professionals who cannot attend can at least view it through our YouTube channel. So that's how we use it, and we also have a website, but it's now going through new renovations and development. So it is the era of social media. If we don't use it, we can't access to our
Absolutely.
followers.
Do you feel that social media and these platforms have made it easier to spread awareness even when it comes to different generations?
Spread awareness and spread misconceptions. We are a wave of good information against a storm of misconceptions. And it's not unlikely that on individual levels, our patients who follow me, for example, in clinic will send me videos, or through the society send us videos. Is this true? Is this true? And at least we're happy to be there to say and filter for them what is true and what isn't, because there will be advertisement for new gadgets and tools that are not tested, and scientifically we cannot promote them, or new treatments or herbal remedies that will make you not need any insulin, etc. So we're there to guide and support. Social media can work both ways.
Both ways, absolutely. There are a lot of years that the society has dedicated their efforts, and they have, because of these efforts, made many, many achievements and hit a lot of milestones. How would the society maintain this constant success, and how do you evaluate it? How do you know that you have achieved this success?
Well, just today we won an award.
For congratulations.
Our activities. Her Excellency Dr. Mariam Al-Hajri has received it just an hour ago.
Congratulations.
And it's for the activities that we do again with the youth. So these awards boost us. Last year we won an award from the Supreme Council of Women for our activities geared towards women. So these tell us that we're on the right path. We are doing something right. Then our portfolio of events that is ongoing. We have a yearly annual bulletin that we issue every year, and we are running out of pages because of the number of activities that we do. So I think we are reaching our targets. We are promoting health. We are promoting information. Yet there is still many more challenges that we wish to overcome and achieve.
Of course, and I'm sure there are going to be many more challenges and wins to come as well. When it comes to addressing your audience, as a society, your audience is not the patients per se, but rather the healthcare workers or people taking care of them. From your point of view, how do you communicate with your audience and then through them with the public audience, which is the patient?
Mainly through our workshops, conferences, and symposia. We are year-round active, as I mentioned earlier, with the diabetes education for Ramadan, pumps classes, continuous glucose monitor sessions. So,
do you have channels where they can contact you or go on to be part of the society?
The society is open for all. Anybody can be a member, whether they're healthcare professionals or people with diabetes or parents of people with diabetes or interested. So they can be directly members, or they can volunteer for a portion of their time, or they can just simply even contact us on Instagram to attend our activities and events, and they're all free of charge to them. They are not charged at all.
It's amazing how much work can be done and good work can be done when so much knowledge is available. Professor, the society has many projects that it has finished, and it has a lot of projects they are preparing for. Tell us a little bit about the future projects that you're looking forward to.
The biggest project, the biggest one is a building that is really state-of-the-art with the unique concept of training, education, and rehabilitation for people with diabetes. It's in Ali, it's near Riyadat. We've had the land for a while, and we finally started building. His Excellency Sheikh Mohammed worked really hard to make this happen. Over the past 20 years, this has been a dream. This will be a unique place that I haven't seen anything like it in the region, where instead of doing all these educations during camp, we can do it year long, where we'll have dedicated staff running the center. And it will have facilities including gym for women, gym for men, pools, halls, so we can do our activities at ease because we will have our own location. There will be allocated space for rent for clinics and others, so it's a sustainable building. So this is our biggest project. Hopefully within a year we will complete it. And then of course the launch of the book is a big thing for us.
Yes.
So in November we'll launch the book. In November we'll have the conference, and we're also starting a new program for training healthcare professionals in collaboration with The Choice to talk about obesity treatments and diabetes, because they're really the two faces of the same coin, and to be launched in December, so after the Diabetes Day events, with other waves following up, again 2 waves more in 2025. And we're expanding more on the support we're providing for children for sensors and pumps. This has been something the Diabetes Society actually started long ago from generous donations from our collaborators, where we provide the pumps and then the hospital will provide the consumables that the patients need. And we are now creating a full study of the full needs for these kids, so that we don't need to keep chasing fundraisers, but we want to allocate specific funds for these children, so that they are getting all their needs timely in a very structured way, so we don't overburden the hospitals and healthcare organizations, and that needs data, and that needs science, and that needs studies.
Yes.
So we just agreed on the team members, and we'll come up with this document hopefully in December.
Definitely looking forward to all of these things, and also the previous achievements all really put Bahrain on the map when it comes to dealing with diabetes and being at the forefront of whether it's its management, its treatment, or any statistical figures that come with it. How much did the Bahrain Diabetes Society contribute to putting Bahrain on the map when it comes to the treatment and management of diabetes?
Because of our presence in the International Diabetes Federation, through His Excellency Sheikh Mohammed and Her Excellency Dr. Maryam, who's been with them for years, way before my time with the Diabetes Society, we have really built good partnerships that led to these projects that I spoke about, and projects that were done by previous endocrinologists in the field. So Bahrain has become a trusted name where experts can be sought for either providing talks or providing expert opinions and guidelines for the region. And we are constantly invited to participate in such events with either our poster presentations for research or conducting workshops. For example, we will be going, myself and Dr. Maryam, end of October to Tunisia to participate in the International Diabetes Federation conference and teach them about the sensors and all of that. So these small steps of successful projects, not just locally but with the region, created this fantastic name where Bahrain is of course trusted as a channel where they can find good experts.
Absolutely. Professor, my last question to you before we end this conversation, hopefully not the last one about this, is what are your advices for the future for not just for healthcare workers that are attempting a career that is specialized in diabetes, that want to be part of the society, and also to your members who are patients, parents of patients, or who are children of parents who have this disease?
I think we are living in an era of expansion of knowledge. So education is very important. Whether it's a person teaching themselves how they should deal with the disease, or it's the healthcare individual or provider learning all the updated data. It is really difficult to be on top of the game these days if you're not educated. So I encourage them to take all these ample opportunities and attend all our conferences and symposias and learn. There are so many tools that they can use even through the IDF School for Diabetes online at their own time from home. I think knowledge is power. Definitely for diabetes, knowledge is empowering people live healthier, live well with confidence, and definitely avoid complications or really postpone them.
Thank you so much, Professor Dr. Dalal Al Romaihi, who is a consultant endocrinologist at Awali Hospital and the chair of the scientific committee at Bahrain Diabetes Society. We also would like to thank you, dear viewers, for watching us, and see you next week in another episode of Panoramic Edition.